A Turkey Day tradition returns to Motown. It's the Coach. This is a special holiday edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, it will be the 79th Thanksgiving Day game in Detroit as the Lions get set to play host to their NFC North rivals, the Chicago Bears. I'll see you again at halftime. But first, we're off to Ford Field, standing by our two turkeys, and I mean that in the best possible way, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. They have certainly got it rolling of late. Winners of 6 in a row.
And it's simple. The more you win in the regular season, the more likely you play at home in the postseason, and that can take you deep into January.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Bears, they've been in a great group. Winners of 7 of their last 10 on the year.
And if you look back to last week, it was all about their defense. Anytime you hold an NFL team to single digits,
It's been a tradition since the early days of the NFL, and we're off on Thanksgiving Day in Detroit. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by their quarterback, the very, very talented Andrew Luck.
I guess we're going to have to nickname him the thrower, aren't we, or something like that.
After last week?
I mean, man, you're talking about over 400 yards throwing the ball. The running backs and everyone else may be looking at him like, hey, don't forget us. And he'd probably just tell them, listen, you want to get involved?
Go out.
Go out and catch some passes. I'll make sure you touch it.
Luck on first down. And hauled in here by Richard Rodgers. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that'll open things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
So second down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Second and 10, Luck again. Gets it to Bryce Butler, complete. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. They were able to win last week despite him being sacked 4 times. They might need to tighten the reins a little bit, or this one may not end in another victory.
You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of hits and harassment in the pocket get to their quarterback. Got to stop that, give him clean lanes to throw the football in order to have a better chance to win again this week.
The former Indiana Hoosier here, Tevin Coleman. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot. But they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
On the handoff, it's Geis. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. Tackle there going to Marshawn Lattimore. And the Buffet boys, the O-line. Hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
Here's Coleman, and that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. Now we're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injured bear on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
Third and long, it's Daniel. And he finds his target. It's Marquise Goodwin. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's fourth down. And this ball is going to be down now right at the 10-yard line. Good spot. And Detroit getting set to go now. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number one goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number two goal is win your division. Number three goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. On second down, Williams. And that closed up quickly there as he gets it up only to about the 17. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to. One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The numbers for Williams a week ago, 19 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown as well.
And even though it's a short week, running backs love when they're in a groove, and that's exactly where he is right now. He's hoping to feast a little bit more here on Thanksgiving.
And he checks this one down to Williams. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 6 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it second down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
On the counter, here's Williams. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And they're going to try the screen. It's complete. Needed more than 3, but that's all they got. And it's fourth down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. As his guys are in for 6. And the Lions are going to take a first quarter lead. Well, these guys have won 3 straight ball games and another good start to this one, out to the 6-0 lead.
And I've talked with so many different coaches, as have you along the way, and they always talk about winning streaks and the mood of a team and how much easier it is to actually prepare during that time. Guys are sharp, guys are focused, everyone's feeling good, and we're seeing it early in this one.
The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left. We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a two-game losing streak can have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Over the middle, and he's got Goodwin complete. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same.
And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 13 yards on the pickup, and they're going to have a third down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits, and those creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Goodwin able to haul it in. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Yannick Ngakoue in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
Daniel now. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Lions have recovered. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
In on the stop, the former Georgia Bulldog, Roquan Smith.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And Adams has it complete. And he's got this down to the 35. Call it a gain of 10, and they pick up the first.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough.
Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a first down. Now a handoff. Here's Williams. And a short gain down to about the 33. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
A good pickup there at 22. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignment.
He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Devontae Adams, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Lions add on to their lead. And in the red zone, I guess this is why you have a guy like that on your roster.
Without a doubt, if you have him, you use him because he's a...
Lutz will look to add the extra point. They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for, and this touchdown will count. Now Tre'Davious White on the return. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Back to the ground on first. It's Geis. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. First catch of the game for Cooks. It'll be a first down.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
And I feel like my man, Old Mo, momentum might be changing jerseys right now. How about what they just got done? They scored a touchdown their last drive. Now here's a 3 and out. Maybe momentum's getting ready to creep to the other sideline.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. It's a big play there for the Lions. 56 yards.
As far as I'm concerned, Andrew Luck can do it all. I mean, he's an underrated runner, toughness in the pocket, strong and stout. But let's face it, the money, that comes from his arm.
And smart, valedictorian of his high school class in Houston, then he goes to Stanford. He's got it all.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game. Some good, strong running right there, some power and some explosiveness just about got him into the end zone.
To throw on second down is Locke. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. Richard Rodgers, his second touchdown on the season. And the Lions are able to grow their lead. Sometimes those tight ends are a mismatch. They found the mismatch there.
And that's exactly why you want to drop those types of plays, because coverage is just going to go to the natural guys, the guys that make the big plays on the outside. But if you work your tight end into it, that's a tough one for a defense to handle.
Tough. They couldn't handle it. They worked out for 6. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Coleman now. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Tackle made there by Tony Jefferson.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. From the shotgun on third, Daniel. And he drops this off to Thompson, complete. And a penalty flag down as he gets only about a yard. And let's listen in on the call.
Offense.
So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Andrew Luck and company heading back onto the field. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
Here's Luck now on second down. Brought in over the middle by Graham. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle.
All right, here we go.
On first down, Daniel got his man complete over the middle. It's Goodwin. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out by a few inches. That'll be a first down. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
Yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. Call it a gain of 5, and it'll be a second down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Tackle made there by Zach Brown. Daniel going to throw on 3rd and 1. Hard throw, incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. Over the middle, complete. That's Grant. And they'll get him down here at the 23. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
The left side throw complete to Adams. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. A solid gain of 15 yards and the sticks move. The final shot before the break. Luck. Throw left side complete. It's Grant. They showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry. So we're at halftime here in the annual Thanksgiving game in Detroit. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go. Now White on the return. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
Geis with the carry on second down. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll make it third down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
He'll give up 6 yards there on the loss, and it'll bring up fourth down. Taking it about the 16. Oh, what a move. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Lions will take over. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
And how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. And now another one thrown incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Bears take over.
Here we go. Green, 39.
They begin the drive with Coleman. He finds an opening past the 40. And he's got it across the 50 to the 47-yard line.
Holding offense.
That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
Green, 39.
They go play action here on first down. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Goodwin. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. That puts a good dent into their first down setback. It's a pickup of 16.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you go...
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39. Green.
Throwing on third down, Daniel. Buying time to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The escapability in evidence there is that one good for 15 and a first.
Sometimes guys get locked into such a groove. What do we call it? The game's slowing down. They see everything happening almost in slow motion. They see the lanes develop. I feel like he's right there.
Well, and you want this from your leader, right? Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Coleman. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Now Daniel off the bootleg. Rolling to his right. Space to maneuver at the 40. And finally down at the 41-yard line. Pretty nice gain on the scramble. Gets him 12 yards.
Partner was a definite passing down, but he was able to leak out and pick up some good yardage, even though the coverage was excellent. Maybe it's not exactly how they drew it up, but he still got a big chunk of yardage on second down.
And this is going to be incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. On 1st and 10, Locke. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Encroachment, defense.
So they got him coming up from his linebacker spot.
And sometimes the position designation really doesn't matter. If you creep up to the line of scrimmage, you just have to look for the football. Make sure it moves before you do.
Throwing his Locke. He's got his tight end over the middle, O.J. Howard. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. Throwing on 3rd down, Locke. And he's got a man. It's the tight end Howard, complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. That catch puts him over 70 yards receiving now as he's got a first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
And he's going to take it down to about the 35 here. 9 yards on the pickup there as they'll be left with 3rd and 1.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Out to the left there and complete to Howard. And now for him on the season, that is his 80th catch, and the result is a 1st down. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be occasional, right? Safety valve, throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
And a nice gain of 21 yards. The 3 red zone trips, 3 touchdowns so far. They'll look for a 4th on 2nd and goal. They'll try and run. This is Williams. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage. Back to the 4-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
He'll get it up the middle, and he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
And the penetration too strong. He won't make it back to the line of scrimmage.
There are certain drives in a game where anything less than a touchdown that caps it feels like an absolute disappointment. This is one of those drives.
So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Off play action, Daniel. And this is incomplete. He was hoping to get that one to Tevin Coleman in space. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14.
Here we go. 3-19.
Out of the gun, Daniel. They'll find Goodwin here on the right side. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. That, I believe, will put him over 100 yards receiving for the game. Yes, it will. And he's got a 1st down to boot. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you.
Back now at Ford Field. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4.
3-19.
Daniel on 1st down. Looking middle. It's incomplete. Brandon Cooks, the receiver he was going after. That'll bring up 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Under pressure here, and 43-yard line. Sheldon Rankins in there to record another sack, their 6th of the afternoon.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Deep ball for Goodwin. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. The veteran Jimmy Smith there on the coverage. Andrew Luck now, he gears up to lead this offense again. And right now, probably just one thing in his mind. It's getting back to the hot start because he's really faded.
And ordinarily when that happens, the quarterback, as you know, is usually the leader of the squad. Now there's probably a silent camaraderie that comes around him saying, hey, guess what? We got you. Don't worry about it. Let's go, big fella. Because they know more times than not, he tends to pick things up, and they tend to play well.
Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Williams. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield, incomplete. Now carry number 20 of the game. Here's Williams. And he stopped immediately there. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
Well, he was stopped on that play, but he's had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
Love. Over the middle, complete. It's Howard. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another 1st down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Williams. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets them into a 3rd and 1 situation.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves and start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was third.
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. So they get the takeaway, but that's just step one. They still have a lot of work to do.
But they don't want to focus on that now. Now it's about getting the ball in the end zone and hoping they can take it away again.
Yeah, still a 3-score game, though, 4th quarter. Going underneath, it's Coleman. Had the nifty footwork, but only able to get it to his own 20. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that'll make it 2nd down. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time? Hopefully with a chance to win.
And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work, and that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a 1st down.
Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Davis. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That one goes for 24 yards. And that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there. Bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball, and you put up a token press. Make sure you get up there and make them eat up some time. Make it a little bit of resistance so they can't just run it right down your throat.
So 5 plays on this drive, Charles. All passes, all completions. And just like that, they're in the red zone.
And don't you think the playbook opens up a little bit more now? Because all they've done is throw the football. If you want to run it now, you may very well have them fooled.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
If you're a defender, one of the fun things about playing zone defenses, especially in today's football, is that it's not as static as it was in the good old days, meaning you just drop to a point and react to the football. Now you end up with a lot of man-to-man principles once you get into your zone defense. In other words, get to your assignment and then locate a guy coming into your area, and then you end up covering him almost man for man. That allows him to make more plays on the football like the one we just saw there.
Forced out to his left. He may try and run for this. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
That was a good effort there trying to do it on his own, but as a defender, you're in a tough spot because you have coverage responsibilities behind you. And if you take off too quick to try and get him down, he might loft it over your head.
So better to track with your man defensively than try to go up and make a stop on the quarterback.
Exactly right. What you're hoping is that your guys in the front 7 can get him down.
So they finally get their first trip to the red zone, and it ends with nothing.
And that's what I'm going to focus on with you because you teed it up really well. Finally get to the red zone. So there's got to be a little bit of frustration because they haven't moved the ball as well as they wanted to all game. Now they get there, but we got to go for it because we don't know if we're going to get back here again. We don't know how many opportunities because they've been sputtering a little bit.
Absolutely. At this stage in the second half, to get there and not get it for the first time, tough. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Offense.
So that one will be accepted. Following the penalty, it's Williams. He'll be dropped at the 30. The shifty move got him a couple extra on the play. They get the penalty yardage back plus a yard, 6-yard gain, and it's 2nd and 9.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. They'll hand it off now. Williams. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Shotgun snap for Daniel. He finds Aguilar over the middle, and they're able to bring him down at the 20. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and 10. gun. Here's Daniel. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. This is taken at the 18. A good return there, 17 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And not much doing. He'll get this only up to about the 36. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
And they're going to take it all the way down and just take the delay.
Delay of game, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. They run it again with Williams. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. The storyline in this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column too.
So for Detroit, they just keep on rolling as they move to 9-2 with a win here. And now they'll have a few extra days before they face the Rams next week. Meanwhile, for Chicago, we'll see how this affects their playoff standing as they fall to 7-4 now on the year. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.